I have 3 daughters, Lucy, 21, Diane, nearly adult, and Rosa, teen. Unfortunately, their father, my husband, passed away in a work accident 11 years ago. We were all devastated, and it was a terrible shock. We were able to get by with my parents helping out with the kids so that I could work. We're doing much better now financially, however, I've been having many problems with Lucy. Not long after she turned 18 and finished school, she's suddenly gone off the rails, mingled with some very sketchy people, and I didn't know what to do with her. She's gotten into heavy smoking cigarettes, partying at every opportunity, over-drinking every day, and I suspect she's been doing more stuff. She's started treating the house like a B&B and disrespecting her sisters and me. I didn't raise her to act like this, and I'm at my wit's end. I've tried to get her into rehab and therapy, but she just refuses to go and gets very angry when I bring it up. Lucy stays with us rent-free. She works a job in retail and buys her groceries but blows the rest of her income. The last straw for me was something that happened 3 weeks ago. Diane and Rosa have pieces of very expensive jewellery that they inherited from their dad's mother after she passed away last year. The jewellery had been in the family for generations. While at school, their jewellery pieces went missing from their rooms. Diane and Rosa were distraught when they noticed the jewellery was missing. I asked Lucy if she knew what had happened to the jewellery. Lucy lied and said she didn't know. I pressed the issue and pointed out that she went partying and spent loads of money, and Lucy eventually admitted that she stole the jewellery and pawned it. Even though it was obvious that it was Lucy, I was still shocked that she would do something like that. So I told Lucy that this was it and that I was kicking her out. I told her that she needed to be out in 3 days. I didn't think it was fair on Diane and Rosa to keep someone like Lucy around when she keeps causing chaos and destruction in our home, and I was also worried about Diane and Rosa being influenced by her. So Lucy left the next day and went to stay with my parents, who said I was a horrible mother for kicking Lucy out and that I was clearly playing favourites. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She stole. She literally committed a crime. You aren't a horrible mother or picking favourites as she stole from your daughters. She's an adult who stole from children. Your daughter has some things to figure out. Maybe she will, perhaps she won't, but ultimately you still have 2 other, non-destructive children to prioritise and care for. She's 21, and while you'll always be her mom, she's an adult and responsible for who she wants to be, where she wants to go, and what she wants to do. Meanwhile, you have to check the credit reports of the younger children and yourself. It would help if you made sure no credit cards, ID theft has taken place. If they are heirlooms gifted to your daughters, you need to report the jewellery as stolen. Local police get pawn sheets from local pawn stores and check them against stolen property reports. Your daughter will probably get arrested because pawn shops take the IDs of people pawning goods, but you may be able to retrieve the jewellery. So I don't think OP is an idiot for kicking her daughter out of the house, but I do think she will be one if she doesn't try to get the jewellery back. Yes, wholly agree. You are the idiot, OP, if you do not hold your eldest daughter legally responsible for the theft she committed to return the stolen property to your younger daughters. You will be fundamentally and clearly favouring your older daughter over your younger 2. And give your parents the whole story that you've told us. Grandparents will change their tune when their heirlooms disappear into Lucy's party purse. They must be aware, although they will soon see her habits themselves. Warn them to lock up valuables. Lucy is stealing from family now, and you 100% are going to protect your younger children from such a sibling. Hopefully your parents will become allies in your attempt to convince Lucy to get help. I'm just curious about why the younger 2 received a family heirloom and the oldest did not. That screams of a much bigger problem if she didn't have one of her own. Maybe Lucy was already acting up prior to this. Grandma saw it and was over it, so she didn't leave anything to her in the will. I don't know why she's the only one acting out, but I think there's a bit more to this story. I, 32 female, co-parent my young teen daughter Lily with her father. We're generally flexible with days and neither of us has a problem with the other. A few weeks ago he texted me, could I pick Lily Friday, September the X instead of Y and drop her off A instead of B? When I asked him why, he said his brother-in-law had passed away and his funeral was Saturday and he wanted to leave Friday. It was in a city several hours away. I agreed to this. I wasn't happy with her missing school, but I compromised. A few days ago, a friend of mine sent me pictures from his social media of him with Lily at a ball game from that Friday in the city where his brother-in-law's funeral was. He never told me anything about that. I texted him and asked what was up with that and why he'd lied, and he said that he hadn't lied, it had been a lucky coincidence. Their favourite team was playing in that city, and he figured they might as well go to a game to see some of her favourite players. I asked if she had homework she should be doing, and he said she had plenty of other time to do it and this was important to him. I'm very big on the importance of Lily doing well in school, so this was upsetting to me that he put a child's game and something he wanted to do over her schoolwork. I don't even think she likes the team for any reason other than to connect with her father, and I think this was mostly for him because I see all the nostalgia stuff he posts on social media about the team. I told him that he shouldn't have left that out of the plan he gave me and that I wasn't changing custody anymore for his mother's birthday, and that he could pick her up and then drop her off a few hours later, but she wasn't staying overnight and I wanted those hours back later. Now he's incredibly upset at me and called me an idiot for overreacting. I just want Lily to understand education is important, to be prioritised, and to be surrounded by people who understand that. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot if there was actually a funeral they went to. Maybe he thought with how depressing the funeral was, it would be good to try and do something to lighten her spirits. Does he have to tell you every single little thing they do together? Do you ask permission before every little thing you do with your daughter? You are overreacting. Are you both not equal parents? Why are you making unilateral decisions and attempting to punish him? OMG, a kid missing one day of school is not the end of the world either. She's being incredibly petty and domineering. Not only does she micromanage her daughter, but OP also wants to micromanage the ex when he has their daughter. The incredibly petulant, "I want those hours back," shows how ridiculous this person is, and the animosity over them sharing a connection over baseball? Jealousy, perhaps? Mom is going to wonder why her daughter never calls her in about 5 years. I couldn't agree more. OP is upset that the father is bonding rather than realizing this relationship is very important for her child's future emotional development. She's hiding behind education to lash out at her daughter's father. So now she thinks she's punishing the father, but punishing the daughter as well. Divorce is hard enough. No need to make it harder. Children can't understand why relationships fall apart. They only know their family has been torn apart. And her daughter will resent her in the long run if she starts down a path of vindictive behavior. I just started a new job and became eligible for benefits. One of the benefits is a free $25,000 life insurance policy. I decided to sign up because it's free, so why not? I put the primary beneficiary as my dad and the secondary as my fiancé. If it pays out, it would pay out 50-50. They needed the beneficiary's info, name, date of birth and contact information, and it asked for their social security numbers too. I called my dad and told him what I was doing. He gave me the info and that was that. I called my fiancé and asked him, and he immediately got defensive. Why do you need that? What is this for? Valid question, but I told him at the beginning what it was for, so he could be a beneficiary of my life insurance policy. This isn't some scam website, it's through our HR health benefits. He refused to give it to me and was getting angrier and more upset the more I pushed for it until finally I gave up and didn't add him because it wouldn't let me add him because the social security number was a required field. When we got home, I asked him what the big deal was, and he basically said that information is his information and he's not giving it to me. I pointed out to him that since we're getting married, I will at some point likely need his social. I pointed out he wanted to be added to my insurance after we got married, his job doesn't offer any, and that I would need his social security number for that, bank accounts, mortgages and credit cards. I'm not posting it on the internet, it's so he can get money if I die. Anyway, long story short, we argued, and he's adamant his information is his information and he doesn't want to be in the system. I reminded him he was in the military, for heaven's sake. He's already in the system. Finally, I told him, okay, then I won't add you to my life insurance or health benefits because I can't add you without that information. He responded by saying that I was extorting and blackmailing him, and then he left for his brothers. Am I the idiot? His information is his information and he doesn't want to be in the system. I'm sorry, but I'm laughing my head off reading this. He doesn't want his social security number to be in the system. Where the heck does he think his social security number comes from? You exit your mother's womb with your social security number tied around your big toe when you're born. It's the father's responsibility at that point to fight the hospital staff, ensuring that they don't take the number first and add you to the system. Oh, wait until he finds out about driving licenses and passports. Not the idiot OP, but I'd hold off on setting a wedding date. This is really odd behaviour and makes me suspicious of exactly why he doesn't want to share this. I mean, you're giving him money if something happens to you. When you go on his insurance, or he goes on yours, you'll need his social security number. When you file taxes as married filing jointly, the social security number is on the front page of your 1040. He can't run away from this forever. Is it possible that he's not here legally? Is it possible he's using someone else's social security number? Is it possible he has some record he hasn't told you about? It may all be innocent, but his reaction, leaving to go to his brother's, is way out of line with how you'd expect a fiancé to react to something like this. Maybe you should research this guy. Seems like he's hiding something. My boyfriend Colin and I have been together for 7 months. He just found out I worked with men and flipped out. I work in IT, a very male-dominated field, and my team consists of one other woman and a bunch of men. My team is great and we often meet up outside of work, too, for drinks, board games, sports, etc. Last weekend we had a weekend team-building event and we rented 2 houses to stay in. The problem arose when I showed my boyfriend pictures of the team event. He asked where my female colleagues were, and I told him I only had one female co-worker, the rest were men. He got angry and accused me of lying to him. I never lied to him. He never asked about my work's male-to-female ratio. He said that it's lying by omission, and I kept it a secret from him because no man would want their girlfriend to hang out so much with a bunch of men. He also accused me of using misleading nicknames when talking about my colleagues, like Danny, so he'd think I was talking about a Danielle and not a Daniel. Our language doesn't have gendered pronouns. Seriously, I work in IT. I thought it was given that I primarily work with men. I think these accusations are baseless, and I don't get what's wrong with socializing with my male co-workers. I told my brother about it, expecting him to be on my side, but he said that even though I wasn't wrong, I should have known that Colin wouldn't like me going on an overnight trip with a bunch of men. This whole situation is ridiculous, but my brother made me think maybe it's something I should have told Colin about. Am I the idiot? What does he expect you to do? Leave your job and get a girly job? For a guy you've been with less than a year, the only thing you should tell Colin is goodbye. Not the idiot. If you stay with Colin, you will be abused more than you currently are. Having a job is not hanging out with a bunch of men. This is a huge red flag in your relationship. He's showing his true colours and it won't get better. Your boyfriend's behaviour is irrational, insecure, possessive, and wildly disproportionate to the situation. You didn't lie, not even by omission. You do not hang out with a bunch of men, you work with them in a professional setting. And it's not your boyfriend's place to tell you who you can or cannot be around, regardless of the circumstances. Dump him. The situation is ridiculous. Your boyfriend is a misogynist. He is telling you that you are not trustworthy enough to have men around you. Call him out. Tell your boyfriend that if he can't deal with your job and trust you, you're done with him. It isn't the 1950s anymore. And no, you didn't need to tell Colin about the male-to-female ratio at work, and by extension, the outing. I'm not in the IT field and know that it is a male-dominated field. This isn't uncommon knowledge. So throw the whole man in the garbage. Around February, I, 23 female, let my co-worker Jaden, 25 male, and his daughter Leah, young child, move in. We were co-workers and friends for 3 years, and he's always been so funny, smart and cute. We became really close friends. Unfortunately, work decided they couldn't afford to keep everyone and have been making cuts, and Jaden was basically forced to quit. I know he was worried about his rent and everything, and my roommate was leaving, so I offered for him to stay with me and we worked out an agreement. We decided that while he was still looking for a job, he'd deal with all the chores, errands and housework. It's been fantastic having him live with me. He's such a great cook, and Leah has been really well behaved and sweet. He's helped me out a lot, and I really enjoy being able to spend all this time with him. He's found some part-time work, but nothing that pays enough for him to live alone, so we've mostly kept our agreement, just with me doing more and helping pay a little. My friends have come over quite a few times and met him. Last weekend I had a bunch of my friends stay over. I thought it went great, but the next day Leah told me she saw Jaden kiss my best friend. I was really upset and Jaden and I argued about it. I told him how betrayed I felt. He tried to say it was fine, that the kiss wasn't intentional, and he didn't say anything because they didn't know what it meant. But it's still wrong. I'm doing so much only for him to do this to me. I got upset and told me he would have to leave if he just wanted to take advantage of my kindness, and that I don't want to live with someone who betrays me like that. He was offended and just tried to act like it was no big deal, and I was being crazy. He thinks I have no right to say anything about his love life, even though it's my best friend and I'm doing so much for him. Our talk didn't work, but I talked to my best friend and she agreed to back off. The last few days have been horrible, and he doesn't think he's done anything wrong. I've tried to talk again, but he refuses to, has been really cold, and told me he'd move out as soon as possible. I don't think I've done anything wrong. It's his own fault. I want to work this out, but he shouldn't be going around kissing my friends. But the fighting has really upset Leah, and obviously Jaden thinks I'm an idiot, even if he's being selfish. You are the idiot. You need a reality check. He's a roommate, not a boyfriend. Roommates don't get to dictate who the other one does or doesn't kiss or date or sleep with. It sounds like you are starting to view this relationship more than it is. You might want to think about telling him how you feel, otherwise you will get out of his love life. Info: so he's your boyfriend, he just didn't know it? Did you catch feelings for this person? Are you mad he chose a friend and not you? Have you two ever spoken about a romantic relationship together? You were kind to him. However, that doesn't mean he owes you a romantic relationship, nor does it mean he must remain celibate. Don't try to talk to him about this again until you can tell him why you feel betrayed and what you think of him, and not just, "I'm doing so much for you, this is betrayal." He's not your property. You are not in a romantic relationship. Therefore, he's not betraying you. Your reaction says, "If you stay with me, you are mine. I generously let you live here. You have no more right to a life of your own. You and your daughter now belong to me, and I demand you have feelings for me, not anyone else." It's like saying, "Date me or be homeless." Basically, blackmail.